Hey there, man. I can't believe you made it out to see the lecture tonight.
No problem. And how long's it been since you've been hanging in Vegas with your boys?
Well, when I'm here, I'm mostly here for work these days and occasionally to see friends, but it always reminds me, I moved out here to go to college and hang out with my buddy Lee Asher and sort of learn from some of the greats in magic when I was 20 years old, That's when I had my 21st birthday at the Tropicana Hotel during the World Magic Seminar, or whatever they called it at that time. And, I drive around here. I remember I used to hang out with Mike Skinner and have dinner with him at the Golden Nugget whenever he got off work. And, of course, he was one of the greatest magicians, close-up magicians of all time. And, Johnny Thompson lives here, and this is where I first met Johnny Thompson. He was introduced to me.
So it's primarily a card lecture, is that safe to say?
Well, in terms of the material, yeah. In terms of the ideas and what we're talking about, it's a magic lecture. It's about magic. But in terms of the actual props that I use, definitely a card lecture. I've always thought it was pretty interesting. People are like, oh, card lecture. And I'm like, oh, what are they sad that there weren't more rope tricks? I never do get that.
And are you doing requests from the Paper Engine as well?
I'll be doing some of the hits from the Paper Engine. One of the things that's really interesting about the Paper Engine, which I'm very happy to be still so proud of the Paper Engine, but there's just no way around the fact that I wrote it when I was 21 years old, right around that time that I first moved out here. That's when I was writing it. And so a lot of the slights, a lot of the items in it really hold up. But the stuff that I really flow with and still use to this day, and use even more to this day, has really developed and has grown. And I think that's one thing that I never realized when I was a kid and I was looking at magic, is that I used to think when, a Larry Jennings book or something came out, that was the trick. I never realized that was a version, a snapshot in time of the piece of magic in question, and that the person who wrote that book, if they were an artist, would probably continue to be working on that. It's just literally, it's like one version, of an idea. So there's a lot of stuff from the Paper Engine that's in this lecture, and a lot of it is embedded in things. There's all those ideas are being applied in all kinds of new and interesting ways. Watch carefully. Card's going to turn face up. Nice. If you keep watching, the entire deck turns. Nice. Alright, so here's the good news and the bad news. The good news is I'm going to completely teach you how to do that trick. The other good news is it's actually much, much easier than it looks. You're going to be able to learn how to do it in about 5 minutes. Bad news is I'm going to do it in the second half of the lecture, so now you must stay. I know, it's very sneaky. Right? I'm interested in first making sure you get some easy, powerful card magic you can get real reactions with, so that no matter how long you've been doing this or how interested you are, you can go home tonight at whatever hour you get home, 3, 4 a.m., you can wake up your wife and say, baby, wake up, I got some magic to show you. Pick a card. And you'll have something you can work with immediately. And then once we get that out of the way, so we'll all have something fun that we can put in our pocket and take home in terms of, some good commercial magic. Then that's when I'm going to start working on the other thing that I like to talk about, which is some of the stuff. I've literally retired from magic lectures over the last couple of years, and I have been teaching. I got about 50 students that I work with online on Skype doing regular lessons every week, every 2 weeks, every month, online. And it has really given me a great appreciation for exactly what kinds of problems we all deal with individually, as the difference between this magic lecture concept and then when we're actually at home working on magic and taking it out and having the sort of a death by 1,000 cuts experience and a 1,000 quiet humiliations that we talk about, that we don't talk about at the Magic Meeting. Everything from just getting relentlessly busted doing the double lift for no reason to, and this is another one that people experience all the time, not getting caught, but for some reason, no one giving a poop. Right? You ever do that? Well, I didn't get caught, I didn't flash, I didn't look, everything got to the end. Why is it no one's acting like they saw any magic? Which is a real insidious one that I would say almost like 60, 70, 80% of all magic falls into that category. Right? So what we're going to be talking about is regarding everything in the range of sleight of hand, from super simple things to more complex things, to things that seem super complex but aren't typically. How to get more out of what you're doing by just taking a small difference in attitude about various aspects of the matter. So keep that in mind. That's what we'll be focusing on moving forward. And that being said,